Hello my dear students. So today in this video we are going to discuss about microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, so this micro and macro are the two branches of economics. So first we will see what is microeconomics. So the Adam Smith, the father of economics, is considered to be the founder of microeconomics. Okay, so the word micro has been derived from the Greek word mikros, which means small. So in the microeconomics, in this branch of economics, basically we are going to deal with the analysis of behavior and economic action of small and individual units of the economy. So micro means small. So here in this case, in this unit, we are going to discuss with the small and individual unit. So in this part, okay. For example, like a particular consumer, a firm, or a small group of individual, etc. So when we are discussing about the smaller unit, then that basically falls under here microeconomics. Okay, so this microeconomics is very important branch because it supplies basically the base for the, or you can call it the foundation for most of the understanding of the functions of the economy. So in order to understand the function of the economy, so we need to go into detail about the microeconomics. So you can call it is the foundation. Okay, foundation for the most of the understandings of the functioning of the economy. Okay children, so now moving on to, so microeconomics is that part of economic theory which studies the behavior of individual units of an economy. For example, if you are studying about the individual income, individual output, price of a commodity, etc. So and the two main important tools of microeconomics are demand and supply. Okay children, now next we will see macroeconomics. So the term macro has been derived from the Greek word macros, which means large. So under this branch, we are going to deal with the overall performance of the country. So macro means large, so we are going to see about the broader part. Okay, so larger part. So basically it is concerned with the study of the problems of country like inflation. Inflation means the sustained increase in the prices. Unemployment is a situation where people are willing also, they are able also, but they are not getting any kind of job. So poverty is a situation where people are unable to fulfill the basic necessities of life, etc. So if all these things are concerned, so under the heading here macroeconomics. So analysis of all these things are done under the umbrella of economics, that is macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is that part of economic theory which studies the behavior of the aggregates of the economy as a whole. For example, the national income, aggregate output, aggregate consumption, etc. And the two important tools of macroeconomics are aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Okay, so this is about the two branches of economics, micro and macro. So micro versus macro. So in microeconomics, the letter I, MI, micro, I stand for individual. So basically here in this branch we are going to study the economic behavior of individual. In macro, whereas in macro the A stands for aggregates, that is it studies the economy as a whole, aggregates. Okay, so this is the micro versus macro. So you can go through the difference between this microeconomics and macroeconomics. So you can go through the meaning, tools, basic objective, degree of aggregation, basic assumption, other name, example. Okay, so microeconomics theory is also known as the price theory, and the macroeconomics is also known as income and employment theory. Okay, so these are the other name of microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, although we have said that there are two branches, okay, we have splitted the economics into two branches, but we must remember that the subject economics is a one whole subject and it cannot be split up into two things. Okay, so they are, what to say, although we are saying that there are two branches, but we have to understand it that these two, micro and macroeconomics, are very much interdependent. They are not independent, rather they are interdependent. They are very much dependent on one another. Okay, so both microeconomics and macroeconomics are interdependent. Okay, So basically you can call it the micro depends on macro, whereas macro also depends on micro. Okay, so you can call it this micro macro. There is a this is in one place we are dividing the subject into two branches, but again we are saying that there is interdependence, so you can call it there is a paradoxical situation. Okay, so this is called micro macro paradoxes. So paradoxes is basically the contradictory statement, often a true statement. So it is a what to say, it is a paradoxical situation. Okay, sometimes there are paradoxes seen in micro and macro activities. So it means an act which is beneficial for an individual may prove to be harmful for the economy as a whole. So like there is a what to kind of say, there is a this contradictory statement. For example, a situation which is good for the individual, suppose our individual is savings more. Okay children, the same individual is not doing any sorts of consumption, it is only saving, it is good, the person is saving. But if similarly other persons also, if they start to save, every person on the every person they start to save, then it is not good for the economy, no, then it will be harmful. So that is why they are called the micro macro paradox. Okay, so if an individual saves, his family is better off, but the whole economy starts to save, then it will result in the contraction of demand, because everyone will be saving, there will be no demand, there will be no output, employment, everything will decrease. So as a result the whole economy will suffer. So that's why it is called the paradox. Why? Because what may be good for the individual may not be good for the economy. Okay children, after that we'll see now. So out of these two, which one is more important? Micro is important or macroeconomics is important? Okay, but we can't say like micro is important than macro, or macro is, or vice versa, or macro is important than micro. But both this microeconomics and macroeconomics have a place of their own, and none of them can be dispensed with. Okay, so microeconomics basically concentrate on the working of individual, whereas macroeconomics studies the economy in general. So while you can say that both the approaches are supplementary to each other, they supplement each other, they are not complementary, but they need to be go hand in hand. Okay, supplementary means they should supplement each other. Like for example, ink and pen, suppose in a pen there is no ink, how you are going to write? No, so like that they are supplementing each other. Like that only your micro and macroeconomics, they are supplementing each other. So you can't say that this one is superior, another one is superior. The superiority of one approach over another, that this cannot be claimed. Okay children, so then why there is this? Because there was a need for the there was a need to split the subject to two branches, because because for the macroeconomics, because microeconomics failed to study the aggregate of the economy. So that's why there was a need for the separate theory for the macroeconomics. Okay, so because micro could not able to, well, like micro failed to study the aggregates. Okay, as a result there was a need for a separate theory, so which could explain the working of the economy as a whole, because micro was smaller. So macroeconomics helped to understand the working of an economic system, as well as explain the various macroeconomic paradoxes also. Okay, so because of this situation, like micro was unable to do so, so because of that there was a need for the separate theory of macroeconomics. Clear children? So this is about the micro and the macro, the two branches of economics. Although they have split onto two branches, but they are interdependent with each other. Okay children? After that we are going to discuss about the central problems of an economy. Okay, so as we have already discussed that the production, distribution and disposition of goods and services are the basic economic activities. Okay, so in course of these activities, every society have to face the scarcity of resources. This we have already discussed, that there is a scarcity, there is a limitation. So because of this scarcity only, the society has to decide how to allocate the scarce resources. So because of this, because of scarcity only, it leads to the following central problems that are faced by the every individual. So the three central problems of the economy are what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. Okay, so these problems are called, why they are called central problem? Because these are the most basic problem of an economy, and all the problem revolve around them only. Okay, so that's why they are called the central problem of the economy. So now we'll see this program one by one. Okay, sorry, problem one by one. Okay, So first central problem is what to produce. So this problem basically involves selection of goods and services to be produced and the quantity to be produced of each select commodity, because as you all know that there is a scarcity, isn't it? There is a limitation, and human beings, they have unlimited desires. If one desire is fulfilled, another will arise. So in this situation, like everything the human beings desire that cannot be produced, so because of that, like there has to be a decision has to be made, like what to produce. So production of, for example, production of more sugar is possible only by reducing the production of other goods, isn't it? So production of more war goods is possible only by reducing the production of civil goods. So this is the problem of what to produce. Among the various goods and services, what to produce. That is the basic problem. Second is the how to produce. Okay, how to produce. Okay, so I want to elaborate this more, like the problem of what to produce has two aspects. Okay, children. So what possible combination to produce? Like I have told you, the economy has to decide which consumer goods they want, or they want the capital goods, machines they want, or they want food, clothing, etc. So then how much to produce? After deciding the goods to be produced, economy has to decide the quantity of each good that is selected. Okay, so they have to decide the quantity also. These are the two problems of the what to produce as two aspects. Okay, second problem is the how to produce. So if the what to produce is being decided, so this problem basically refers to the selection of techniques to be used for production of goods and services. So either the economy is using the, so technique basically means like which possible combination of inputs to be used, isn't it? Either labor intensive or the capital intensive. Labor intensive technique means more labor and less of capital. Less of capital means less of machines. Okay, so in the capital intensive there will be more capital and less labor utilized. So which techniques to be used? Either labor intensive or either capital intensive. Okay, so this selection of technique is made with a view to achieve the objective of raising the standard of living of people and to provide employment to everyone. Okay, so if there is a technique of capital intensive technique is used, then there will be no employment generation, isn't it? So in India, LIT is preferred due to abundance of labor, whereas country like USA, England, etc. prefer capital intensive technology due to the shortage of labor and abundance of capital. So it's upon them like which technique. So this is the problem. Then another problem is for whom to produce. So this problem relates to the distribution of produced goods. Now the goods has been produced, so this problem is basically relating to the distribution of produced goods and services among the individual within the economy. That is the selection of category of people who will ultimately consume the good. Whether the goods produce goods for more poor or less and less rich, or more rich or less poor. For example, if good will being produced by the poor, produced for the poor people, then the rich people won't be consumed. If it is consumed for the richer people, then the poor people won't be able to consume it. So this is the one of the central problem for whom to produce. As you all know that resources are scarce, so no society can satisfy all the wants people want, isn't it? So there's a problem of choice arises. So goods are produced for those people who have paying capacity. So capacity of people to pay for goods depends upon their level of income. It means their problem is concerned with the distribution of income among the factors of production. Okay, so this third problem for whom to produce is to which section of people are going to consume that. So this is the another problem of the economics, like what to produce. So the three central problems of the economy are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay, so in this video we have discussed about the microeconomics and macroeconomics, the two branches of economics, and the central problems of the three central problems of the economy.